Hi everyone, welcome back to Grow Roots. This is Shannon and welcome to the November 2023 Backyard Garden Tour. I wanted to start right here so you could see this amazing borrowed view. This is one of the reasons we love our house so much, because we have this amazing green belt behind us. It is also a creek, and in November, early December, before the leaves fall, it's just incredible fall foliage. Best view ever. Oh, look at that. Just amazing. Okay, so there's been a lot of changes in the backyard garden. I've transplanted a lot. I've added a lot. So here we go. One thing to note as well, things are not looking perfect. You can see leaves all over, no matter how often I sweep this backyard or try. Because of this amazing borrowed view, we have leaves everywhere in the month of November. It just is what November is. So also, I'll be adding compost mulch pretty soon here, as soon as I find the time. Probably this weekend, I need to go through and I'm mulching to kind of, get the garden ready for winter. I like to do that in the fall, and I think I have decided I've done compost as mulch, and I've also done pine bark as mulch and regular wood chip mulch, and I think the best mulch for the fall and the spring, honestly, is compost. I feel like my garden does the best when I do the compost. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Tucking in the garden beds for winter, and also adding lots of great nutrients to the soil. So I have not done that yet. It kind of looks a little bit bare. It doesn't look tidy, but that's life, right? Okay, so starting over here, my vinca is still alive. We've had a few frosts and it's still holding up amazingly well, but we're gonna have another freeze next week, a couple freezes, so these will leave pretty soon. But in the meantime, they're just enjoying life. I did plant this dianthus that I grew from seed. I planted it was growing in a pot all season long. Believe it or not, you guys, this is one plant, and it has one stem at the bottom. I thought I was going to be able to divide this, but not really. It has one stem at the very bottom, but it's huge. It's beautiful. So that's dianthus. This is I can never remember the name. I always want to call it Mr. Goodbar, because that's my mom's favorite candy growing up. It's actually Mr. Good Bud. It's a type of sedum. Absolutely beautiful. I think I'll leave these buds on for the winter to provide some winter interest. So it's doing well. I thought that it might get too much water here because it's right next to the grass, and so it gets some overspray. But so far it has taken the transplant really well. I planted it about a month ago. It's doing fantastic. And then over here I have dwarf Mexican petunia. Let me see if I can get a picture. Oh, there's no picture on it. But it's a dwarf pink Mexican petunia. I think those will be fantastic. They did have some flowers on them when I planted them. Like you could see, this one was full of buds and flowers, but those are gone and ready for the fall and winter. Here is a brand new, I just transplanted this, last week. I went on a clearance plant shopping trip and I picked this up. This is Proven Winners. I think it's called Double Play Candy Corn Spirea. I'm so excited about it. Like I said, it's just been transplanted, but look at that beautiful fall color in there. I'm really excited. I think it's going to provide 4 seasons of interest, and I can't wait. It has beautiful, beautiful blooms, I think in, early summer? These pink blooms. So excited about Spirea. I've never grown Spirea before, but I'm excited to try it. Let's see. Over here is a white echinacea that's kind of been hidden by the vinca all season long, but it's doing good. It was grown from seed. White swan echinacea was grown from seed, and has not bloomed yet. They don't typically bloom in their first season, so next summer I should see some beautiful white echinacea blooms. This is my little lime hydrangea that I also got on clearance in late summer for $10. And my big Limelight hydrangea was lost in the super record-breaking heat of this past summer, so I picked this one up, took the old one out. It had died, and hopefully this little lime will do well. If it doesn't do well in this location, I'm going to give up on Limelight hydrangeas in sun locations. I have another one that was a baby Limelight that I have in a part sun location. Actually, I have 2 of them, so we'll see how those do more in a part sun environment. Here I have a brand new one. This was the clearance plant as well. This is Coreopsis. So I've wanted a Coreopsis for quite some time. Excited to have that one. Oh, this was my Plumbago Ceratostigma. Beautiful. I love how it kind of, the leaves reflect the sky, so it makes it look blue. They're not blue. The blooms are blue, and it bloomed all summer long for me, but this is its fall color, and I have grown this all summer long. It's been a rock star, and I wanted more, and I found another one, and it's right here. So I've got another Plumbago right there. And that will be a really nice ground cover for this area. I have another Dianthus. Here is my summer Carnival Hibiscus. I picked this up as a birthday present for myself. And I'll put a picture of it on the screen when I first got it. It's spectacular, but it did not take the transplant well. It went into transplant shock, and it looks as if it has died, except for this one thing. And I think there's, under this zinnia seedling, there's one branch there but one of 2 things has happened. It's either died from the transplant, unfortunate, or the transplant has put it into a shock and it has gone into early dormancy. So only time will tell. I'm going to leave it here and see if it pops up in probably mid to late spring, because these guys kind of come up a little bit later than most. But I hope that it's not dead. I love it, and I was very excited about this plant. It has variegated leaves, and it's gorgeous, and I really hope that it didn't die, but we'll see. Down here, I have Blue Days of Ulus. And I was growing these in containers in my front yard, and these were in full sun and didn't bloom super well for me. And anyway, I was looking at other homes in my neighborhood that had Blue Days of Ulus that was blooming all throughout summer, and those were in part sun locations. So this is more of a part sun location, especially for the ground cover. And interestingly enough, it's not showing now, but I transplanted these a couple weeks ago, and this one started blooming right after the transplant. It was like, oh, finally I got some relief. And I think I see a bloom over there actually, but we're going to try these out in this spot. This is one of my kind of harder spots in the landscape, but I plan on getting some clematis actually. I'm planting them here because the roots will be in the shade and the vine will be in the sun, just like this jasmine vine here that's doing spectacular, by the way. So I do want to plant some clematis here. That's kind of my plan, but we'll see how that goes. Over here is my Texas sage. Beautiful plant, and I love the color of the foliage. Down here is a beautiful echinacea plant. It's a coral color. It's my favorite echinacea plant that I have. My echinacea purpurea I haven't loved because it gets a little leggy for me. So I transplanted it in different locations, which, by the way, I kind of passed over one of the locations. But anyway, love that one. That is a Dianthus. Over here is a new addition It is Mystic Spires Salvia that I found on my clearance plant shopping trip, and super excited about this one. I've seen it. I hope it does well here in Texas. I think it does. And so look at those blooms. They're so pretty. Down here, this is underneath my sunshine ligustrum, and I have put some of my burgundy glow ajuga down here. So I have 4 of them. This one has not done so well. I'm not exactly sure why, but anyway, burgundy glow ajuga, these are doing pretty good, and that'll go really nice under this tree formed sunshine ligustrum. You can't see, not a great view right now, but here we are. It's a spectacular shrub. I highly recommend it, and I have tree formed it, and I just love it. Here is another Texas sage that this shrub died back, I think due to some overwatering issues, and it grew from the roots into a brand new shrub. Isn't that awesome? So loving it. It really did bounce back super quickly, so I'm excited about that. Here is my pink muley grass I picked up 6 weeks ago. So it's kind of at the end of its blooms here, but look, that actually, it does still have a pink hue. But I'm excited to add this new grass texture. My husband is not a fan of the grasses, so that's why you don't see too many ornamental grasses in my yards, but I really, really wanted this one, and this was kind of my birthday present, so there we go. This is also another perennial that I added for my clearance plant shopping trip. It is pink skullcap. Doesn't look like too much right now, but I'll put a picture of them on the screen. I think this is going to be beautiful here with the Texas sage in the background, and it's supposed to be great. A really, really hardy perennial for the landscape, so excited about that. There's another dianthus, and this is kind of that part sun location, and this is a baby limelight that was growing in a container all season long just from one, like a cutting, and it had a great root system. I transplanted it here 2 weeks ago. It's doing amazing, no transplant shock whatsoever, and I'm really excited to see how it does more in this. It's kind of part sun slash full sun, not full sun for sure, but it does get a good bit, but I think it'll be protected by the sunshine ligustrum, and I think it's going to do really well here. We'll see. We will see. Here is my Echinacea purpurea. I kept 2 of them here. I transplanted 2 of them in other locations, but it got super leggy. Like, I know Echinacea does grow tall, but this grew maybe 5 feet tall. And anyway, this one is super, super healthy. It really loves this spot. So I kept these 2 here. I think that will be nice. And I've got my cannas right here that are doing really well right now. They had a tough time this summer. I've got my jasmine plant that's doing amazing right here. And I have a new vine right here. Super excited about this new vine. This is coral honeysuckle. I see a branch broke during the transplant. Okay, so this is a coral honeysuckle that I picked up on clearance. I have it kind of up here on its trellis, but I'm hoping that it'll swoop onto this fence. I may need to put some kind of trellis right here for it. The fence is vinyl and not super easy to grab onto, but you can see this. This jasmine doesn't have a problem. It did this on its own. But anyway, I'm really excited to have coral honeysuckle. I wanted a honeysuckle for quite some time, and I want to add a variety of different vines along this back fence. And so I'm really eager to see how this does. I hope it does well. And then this one is my Midnight Marvel Hibiscus. I'm doing okay, starting to go dormant a little bit. Showing some fall color, and again some canna lilies. Back up onto the patio, I usually do a container tour, my pots, but you can see they've pretty much been cleaned out. They were perennials that I have transplanted into the landscape for the most part. I don't have much left. These are mums that I took out that are growing there, but yeah, we pretty much cleaned these out. That's lantana that is an annual that I don't anticipate to survive. I kept debating on whether to plant it in the landscape, but I'm just going to leave it there and see what happens. Citronella will be gone soon. I have this rosemary. It seems to be in a state of dormancy for a long time. It has not grown, not living life. But here's my strawberries that are doing really, really well. My blue agave, again, a rock star. Look at those. You don't want to get near that. You don't want to kneel over right here. It's pretty sharp, but it's so pretty. And I've got a Crepe Myrtle baby that started growing in my side yard. Look at its fall color. It's so pretty. And it had a little purple bloom right there, which I expected it to be white because my neighbor's Crepe Myrtle is white and I thought it was a baby of that, but it's purple. It's so interesting. All right. So coming over here, it's kind of hard to see with the sun, but these are my Tangerine Beauty crossvines and growing on these trellises that my husband made in 2020. So these trellises are doing great. They're so beautiful, but this is only its first growing season in the ground here for this Tangerine Beauty crossvine, and they were itty bitty baby plants that were all the way down there when I bought them. And here they are, growing wonderfully. I can't wait to see them in the spring. They've done well. Here is another one of my Limelight babies that it grew in this container. This container is emptied out. I put it in a bigger container and split it. So I've got that one over there and I've got this one here. I'm keeping this one here because it did so well in this location. So yeah, really excited to see how that does next season. I'm not gonna do, let's see. Okay, so here is another one of my Confederate Star Jasmine that I have in this pot, and I decided to kind of grow it as an espalier, kind of twisting and turning over this pole, and it's done really, really, really well. I really do love it. And another rock star plant that's an annual that I've had since spring. This is the Proven Winners Double Up Pink Begonias. Wow, it's, we've had several freezes. They are still here. They're doing amazing. It's just such a beautiful plant. I really want more of these. And this is a full shade location, but it's just full of blooms. Just an absolutely wonderful plant. So we'll come back here and show you the side yard. Here is a good view of the side yard. My cannas are going to be transplanted. I'm going to take these out and either plant them all along the back here so it's kind of a wall where our barbecue is. I'm not sure about that though. Or I'm going to take all of these out and put them way back there, if you can see by my AC unit. And then it'll kind of hide or at least make it look better back there. Okay, so right here, I have another pink skullcap. So this will be a little, it's more of a part shade location here. Hopefully it will do well. This I was really excited about. This is Evercolor Carrot. There's a specific variety of Evercolor Carrot, and it's escaping my mind, but I'll put the name on the screen. This is supposed to be evergreen, and look at that variegated foliage, and I love running my fingers through it. It's going to add a great texture to the garden here. I had a peony. It is maybe dormant, I don't know, but yeah, not doing well. I don't think I can grow peonies. I really don't. North Texas, not so sure about growing peonies. It just gets too hot here. It really does for peonies. Right here is an amaryllis, Rapido amaryllis from Color Blends that I got last year for Christmas and planted it in the landscape in the spring. It has done amazing. It grew a baby. I transplanted the baby, and this is the mama. And I'm hoping that with this kind of protected environment right there, that it will survive the winter. It's marginal, but especially now that we've been changed to zone 8B, I think it actually will survive if we stay in the 8B category of minimal temperatures. I've got a boxwood right there. Let me take you back around. I've got lots of purple heart. This was like maybe 5 cuttings of purple heart to begin the spring season from my mother-in-law's garden, and it's just this huge swoop of purple heart there. I know y'all can see some weeds in there. It's okay. I've also got this passion vine that grows wild that the Gulf fritillary caterpillars love, so I kind of left it there a little bit, but I have a daylily, and the baby amaryllis is back there too. And this is just a regular white rose mallow. Oh, it has struggled so much, and it's part dead now and going dormant. I think I may pull this out if the grasshoppers continue to eat it the way that they did last year. This plant just struggles. So I'm just going to be pulling it out. That's okay. I've got some ground cover going here. It took a while to take off. This was just 2 little cuttings from the ground cover that I have in my front garden, but it's variegated Vinca major. Should have blue flowers in the spring, and it's doing okay there. And then here is my hydrangea hedge, which eventually will be all grown together hydrangeas, but yeah, I just love these. These are endless summer kind of ish hydrangeas. It's not the endless summer brand, but it was from Sam's Club, and it's the Sam's Club version of the endless summer hydrangea. It's interesting to see each of these is their own unique plant. Some of them larger than others, some of them no blooms, some of them do have blooms, but I just love them. They are doing pretty well, and that fall color is finally getting onto the blooms. It's just so pretty. I love hydrangeas, y'all. I love them so much. And so to see this hydrangea hedge just growing and doing pretty well, it's awesome. Coming back here to the final part of my garden tour. This garden bed right here is brand new in the last 3 months. So I prepared this by doing the no-dig garden method, and I am telling you, it has worked amazingly. For new garden beds, from now on, this is what I'm going to do, the no-dig garden bed method. Basically, you lay cardboard over the whole area, double layering cardboard for the most part. And then just what I did is I added a layer of compost and then a big layer of mulch over the top. So at least 3 inches of compost / mulch. And then I let that go for 3 months over, September through November. And then I started planting back here. And actually, I think I started planting mid-October. I think I prepared this in August, maybe, because I know it had been at least 2 to 3 months before I started planting here, and it was ready. A lot of the stuff, like the cardboard had decomposed, the compost had gotten, so it's got like 3 to 4 inches of really good stuff, and these plants have loved it. So this is pink Turk's cap that has at least doubled its size in 6 weeks since I planted it, because I remember this is the oak leaf hydrangea that I got. It's called Alice in Wonderland Dwarf Oak Leaf. It will have white blooms. Beautiful. But, this guy hasn't grown necessarily, but look at this. It's starting to give me its fall foliage, and but anyway, it hasn't grown. But then the Turk's cap was a third of its size when I first planted it, and now it's almost the same size. So the Turk's cap has really grown. It's doing amazing. It still has buds. It still has buds, and it's 43 degrees outside. It got down to 34 degrees the night before last. Oh my goodness, Turk's cap. Everybody, has seemed to rave about it in North Texas, and now I see why. I just absolutely love it. I may get lots more of that. Here is a daylily that it was I divided my daylilies, so this is one of the pieces from back there, and that I planted over here. Again, has done well. I planted more cuttings from the purple heart, so that's there. And then this is more recent. This is Mexican petunia. So that will get nice and tall with purple flowers. That'll be fantastic. Um, Here, I may have to transplant this already to go somewhere else. This is red oxalis. We will see how it does here in this part shade. I really love it. It has these nice, beautiful white blooms. And then just yesterday, my neighbor gave, she was taking these out of her front yard. This is a kaleidoscope abelia, which is on my wish list of plants that I really, really want, but it wasn't doing it for her. It wasn't giving her the foliage, like the 4 seasons of color interest that she was hoping for, because it was planted in mostly shade. And this is a part shade location, so I think it will do okay, but I put it there and it's too close to the oxalis. Look at that. I mean, we're gonna go into dormancy. Maybe I'll transplant this in the spring. We'll see what I do, but that is kaleidoscope abelia. Super excited about that. So there we go. So thank you so much everyone for watching. It has been such an awesome thing to capture the garden every month of this growing season from March through November, and I will still give y'all a December garden tour as well, just mostly for me. It's been amazing to see everything transform and all of the changes that I've made, and to learn from mistakes and successes. And I just thank you all for joining me. I encourage you, if you haven't seen any of my monthly garden tours in 2023, please go back. I have a playlist of garden tours. You can see all of them and see how the backyard has changed, the front yard has changed. I just thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and I hope you have a fabulous Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.